Greetings, YouTube. I just finished reading a book called Action Spectacle Cinema, which deals with action films from the 80s and 90s. And they talk about the film Cape Fear, that was a remake of a film by the same title. And the remake was made in 91, and the original was made in 1962. Um, in the original, in a short elevator pitch for you, it's about a prosecutor, Gregory Peck, that puts a very evil man, Robert Mitchum, into prison because he's a very evil man and deserves to be in prison. He serves his sentence, gets out, and decides he's going to wreak revenge upon the prosecutor and his family for having put him to prison. And there's a lot of both out and out violence, well, in the context of 1962, also the threat of sexual violence against the prosecutor's wife and daughter, who is a minor. I think she's 12 or 13 in the film. So it's a powerful film, and for the time it was quite shocking. Now the remake was made in '91, and Robert De Niro, plays the evil person here, and in a twist, instead of when he gets out of prison, he goes after the prosecutor. He doesn't go after the prosecutor. Maybe he figures, hey, the prosecutor caught me and put me into prison. That's his job. No, he goes after his own defense attorney. Now, why does he go against his own defense attorney? Well, you see, the defense attorney discovered in the course of the trial that his rape victim, a woman he actually raped, had a promiscuous past. And the defense attorney buried that. And by doing so, did not taint the jury and helped get a conviction, because the defense attorney came to realize my client is a very evil man and should be in prison. So you could say he may have a breach of ethics. Perchance he should even be disbarred. But he gets out and he wants to wreak revenge upon this man. And again, there's the threat of violence and there's the threat of sexual violence. But this time it's slightly different, because in the original film, Gregory Peck and his wife are in this hallmark relationship, and they're this little wonderful Norman Rockwell family, as opposed to the 1991 version where Nick Nolte, playing the defense attorney, and his wife are kind of rocky, and their daughter is 15, still a minor, and Robert De Niro, it is implied that his evil man seduces her. Now, I'm not 100% sure, it's been a very long time since I've seen it, whether he actually seduces her or just establishes the framework where it is implied, and she is very much intrigued by the fact that this older, powerful dude, and he's a good-looking dude, he's in really good shape in the film, is interested in her in that manner, because she is becoming a more sexual being at that stage in her life, which is fine. 15 is a good time to becoming sexual in your own being, but maybe not with evil ex-cons that are rapists who are out to destroy your family. Maybe someone more in your own age bracket. And a truly consenting relationship, not with an adult that you cannot have a consenting relationship with. And Scorsese directed the second film, and he brought in some of the actors from the first. He brought in Robert Mitchum, Gregory Peck. He brought in a couple of the other actors to play different roles. But he really wanted you to understand that there is a distinct connection to the first film. Okay? It's deeply ingrained that you are looking at a new take on that original piece of work, a more modern take, even though for us at the moment, 91 is fairly far in the past. Scarily enough, it doesn't seem that long ago to me. It was 9 years after I graduated high school. Having read the section of this book that dealt with this film, a couple of essays, and I think they both covered Cape Fear, Scorsese didn't think anything about putting forth the idea that the promiscuity of an actual rape victim might mean that the case would be thrown out of court. That the jury would say, oh, well, she had sex with one guy. She could have said yes to having sex with another guy. So maybe it's just a he said, she said, which is utter horrible bullshit. Anyone can be raped. If someone has sex with 1,000 people, says no to you, then goes out and has sex with another 1,000 people, it doesn't justify raping them. Their sexual history has nothing to do with their ability to be the victim of a crime. And Scorsese's narrative, the narrative of the remake, is that women have no sexual agency. They have no sexual bodily autonomy. If they have had sex, they are now a bad victim. They are now no longer a good victim when it comes to rape. And no rape against them is going to be viewed as a good rape by society. Apparently in society, and this is borne out many times over with things that we've seen in news and in courts and in studies, people have this image that a good victim is someone that was a virgin, which is a bullshit concept and a social construct, was a virgin and was attacked by some stranger that leaped out of a bush upon her. And anything outside of that situation, as long as she's dressed like she just walked out of a Norman Rockwell picture, she's a bad victim. Oh, did you see how she was dressed? Justification for rape. She had a few drinks? Justification for rape. She went to a frat party? Justification for rape. And we do this to women all the time, right now in 2017. Now, when I saw this film in 1991, guess what? That whole ugly, vicious, nasty, horribly toxic narrative went right over my head. Because at that time in my life, I didn't think of myself as a feminist. I mean, let alone an intersectional feminist. Let alone someone that understood that everyone has a sexual agency and anyone can be the victim of sexual assault. And I say this as a guy that has survived sexual assault as a minor. So someone that has survived that, saw that film in 91, or maybe on cable after that, I'm not sure when I saw it, but I saw it. And didn't get the ugly, horrible narrative in there, that the patriarchal, toxic masculinity that is just rife in Scorsese's direction and the writer. I don't know, I forget to look up who wrote the thing. It's horrible and it's ugly. And now in 2017, it's screamingly obvious. And it's horrible and ugly. And I'd like to think that Nick Nolte's character buried that because he was a feminist. Because he understood that the sexual history of a rape victim has not one whit to do with whether they were raped. I'd like to think that. But I don't think I'm right. I think they just wanted to make him look like someone that failed at his job to defend his client by hiding something that the client wanted brought forward, and that would have at least gotten one juror to agree with them and had the case thrown out of court. And a very evil rapist would have gone back onto the streets to go rape again. I really like to believe that. It's a pity I can't.